Hello, good afternoon. We are live. I want to welcome Linda and Dow. I'll do that in a second. But as always, I want to say welcome to the show. It is Thursday. It's 12 o'clock on Thursday, on the 18th of September. So if it isn't 12 o'clock on the 18th of September on Thursday, you're watching on playback. But thank you so much for watching. Now, as we have one of our regular visitors to the show with some incredible deals, and this is another one, by the way. We have Linda from Riviera Travel. Hi, Linda.
I'm always happy to be here, but I'm actually really excited today because I actually did this tour myself in March. So loads of great memories, and I really loved it. So really happy to talk about it.
And not only that, for all the tours you can do, Linda, you chose to do this tour, didn't you? This is one you wanted to do.
Yes, I'd been to New Orleans before, but I hadn't been to the other places. And I just loved the mix of the music, the history, the culture, all of it.
And if you're an Elvis fan, don't miss this. And underneath me, we have probably worse for wear for celebrating. We have Daryl from the Solar Holiday Forum by Passion for Cruises. Daryl, welcome.
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon, Linda. Yeah, chuffed to be here. Obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, we've been celebrating yet again. We were very fortunate to win a couple of awards on Tuesday evening. So yeah, just recognition for the Solo Holiday Forum, escorted touring, and social media. So i.e. what we're doing on here. So yeah, so thanks to everybody involved. Obviously from our side, Peter, the big thing from me and obviously the directors is our Solo Holiday Forum members. Without them, we wouldn't be anything. So just a huge thank you to all of them to keep supporting us.
Massive thank you to all the members. Please show the awards, Daryl. I know you've got them there, haven't you?
Yes, I got one. There's one, Peter, and then there's two. Look, so two table tennis bats. So if we want to have a game anytime, we can do.
Agency of the Year, fantastic.
Yeah. So really chuffed with these, and like I say, we've won quite a few of these awards over the years, and it's 5 years since we started the Solo Holiday Forum. And like you say, at the time, obviously, and we are still, let's be honest, a cruise company. That's what we're famous for. But our escorted touring business has really kind of come on. And over the last 5 years, we've scooped up quite a few awards. And I've got to be fair, we've got such a hardworking team in the background. Like you say, we've got great relationships with Riviera. I mean, like you say, Linda is literally, she might as well move into our office, bless her. She's on this TV show all the time. But also, like I say, the members who've just continued to support us during this journey.
Thank you, members. We appreciate it. We're going to go straight to the deal, by the way, because this is really exciting. And when you look at the itinerary, it's actually incredible. And there's a huge discounted price as well. As you know, that is our number to call. That gives you a clue on the left-hand side about who we're talking about as well. That's the number to call if you had that number ready to call. And Linda, please talk us through the highlights of this incredible tour.
Yeah, so I'd say this is definitely a great tour for people who love music, they love history. So with music, like you said, Elvis is a massive draw. We'll go to Graceland. We'll also go to some of the studios where he recorded his hits, but we'll go to kind of the country music capital of the world, Nashville as well, Memphis for the blues, New Orleans for jazz. And then in terms of history, we've got the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. We've got historic mission control at the NASA Space Center in Houston. We've got the Alamo, of course. So yeah, really great variety and definitely good for Elvis fans, country music lovers, and people who love history as well.
Yeah, and that just gives you the highlight of the tour, which we're talking about, which is absolutely incredible. So Daryl, please talk us through more about the information about the tour and the incredible deals and when it is. So here we go, folks.
Yeah, so just to kind of give you a bit of an insight, it's a 13-night tour, but it's 12 nights in accommodation, okay? And that will be in 3- and 4-star accommodation throughout. You're getting your return flights and transfers included, 13 included experiences, 12 breakfasts, which you don't normally get food on any USA or Canada tour. So you are getting breakfast included in this one. With Riviera, they meet you at the airport before you depart, so you can get to meet your other your fellow solo travelers. A welcome drinks and dinner. Yet again, I mean, we speak about this all the time on this TV show, Peter, but an expert tour manager and local guides. So you're going to have the best support whilst you're there. But also, as Linda's mentioned, you go into these music cities, you're going to see a lot of history and culture. So they're going to give you the real insights into what makes these parts of the world special. Small group size, so maximum of just 25 guests, check luggage, hotel porterage. And in America, unfortunately, there is a lot of kind of living out of a suitcase. But when you get to each of these hotels, you will have porterage service throughout. There's 2 dates for 2027. Now, there's a couple of things I want to mention. First and foremost, Pete, Riviera have now introduced a 10% sale on this particular offer. Okay. So if you can get the offer back up for me, I'm just going to talk through. So the price was 6,599. Now, luckily, Riviera introduced a 10% sale on this particular holiday. We've added in a little bit our end as well to take it over 10%. So actually we're selling these at 5,799. So we've got a 31st of March 2027 and the 29th of September 2027 at 5,799. Now the important thing about both of these dates, great times to go to these areas, because March is just starting to heat up, but it's not getting too hot. And the end of September, it's just starting to cool down. So a great time to go to the Deep South in
Just show you again.
2027.
Amazing deal, amazing deal on that one, folks. And if you want to grab it straight away, that's the number to call. Give us a call. Yeah, it's the local number, by the way. It's a local number, Daryl. So, Linda, I know that you've done this tour. As you said, you chose to do this tour. Please talk us through the daily side of it. So we have the King, and day 2 of the tour, Jack Daniel's Distillery.
Yes, so we leave Atlanta and we go to Nashville, and en route we stop at the Jack Daniel's Distillery in Tennessee. And the fun thing about this distillery is the county it's located in is actually dry. So none of the local people in the county can taste the whiskey that's made there, which is absolutely crazy. But luckily, when you do a guided tour, you're allowed to taste it for tourism reasons. So we do a guided tour around the distillery, learn all the really interesting history. Jack was only 16 when he started, actually. And then also we'll do a sampling of 6 different types of whiskies as well. Wow. So great for whiskey fans, but also just interesting, honestly, like how it all started.
What a great start. And day 3, Nashville.
So yeah, we spent 2 nights in Nashville, visit all the main sites. First one being RCA Studio B. And as you can see from the picture I took when I was there, these are all the hits that Elvis recorded there. So you learn all about Elvis recording there, but also people like Roy Orbison and Dolly Parton as well. And then we'll go to the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's a really big museum, and it's got kind of exhibits dating back to the first days of country up to modern day. You can see some of the gold and platinum discs that they have there as well. So really interesting museum to wander around. And we'll also go to the Ryman Auditorium, which was the home of the Grand Ole Opry until it moved to its kind of newer, more modern location that it has today. But this is its original location. And also when we were in Nashville, we have some free time. And this is Broadway, which I loved. And this is where you've got so many bars with live music. And some of them are like several stories high. And there's lots owned, I found really interesting, by people like Blake Shelton, or Bon Jovi has one. And we also have an optional excursion to go to the new home of the Grand Ole Opry. This is my picture from when I visited. And when I went, I saw 7 different acts. So it's just really great to, to see, I don't know, different styles of country music, and modern and older ones. And, there'll always be kind of something for everyone. So it's a really great night out.
Day 4 to 5 is Memphis.
Yeah, so you're going to go to Memphis, and the biggest draw, of course, in Memphis is Graceland, Elvis's home, second most visited home in the US after the White House. Elvis bought it actually for just $100,000 back in the day. And as you can see, it's still as he left it. When he died, you get to see the dining room and the kitchen. You see the games room. You see his TV room where he'd watch 3 TVs at once. It's just such a time capsule, really fascinating. And you also see things like his private plane, the Lisa Marie, which has gold taps in the toilet, as well as his classic cars and all of his many iconic stage outfits. Honestly, I absolutely loved it. And then also the other famous thing in Memphis is the National Civil Rights Museum, where unfortunately, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. And it's the kind of forms, the Lorraine Motel where he was shot forms part of the museum, which is really interesting. But it's not just about him, it's about the whole Civil Rights Museum. This is obviously a recreation of Rosa Parks. And it's just a really emotional and fascinating museum. I really enjoyed visiting. And we've also got opportunity to go to Sun Studios as well, which is where Elvis recorded his first record before later on going to the other studio we talked about earlier. And you can take some silly pictures like I did of, pretending that you're a singer in the studio as well.
And we will be playing that song later on, won't we, Linda? Yeah.
Luckily, no sound. There was no sound. And then this is Beale Street. It's like a smaller version of Broadway in Nashville, but it's more about the blues than country music. And this is a good thing with this tour is if you like, having a few drinks in the evening, there's some really great places with live music. You can do that as well.
There's so much to see, isn't it? Just to remind you, by the way, that is our number, because you're going, wow, this is just incredible. As I did when I saw it, I totally get why you chose to do this, Linda. And I know Dowell's done a lot of this as well. Days 6 to 8, New Orleans.
I love New Orleans. It's my second time visiting there. And it's so interesting because it's got this like confluence of like French, Spanish, African and Caribbean influences. So there's nowhere like it in the US. And we'll do a walking tour. We'll see the distinctive architecture you just saw. We'll see the cathedral. It's a really lovely city. And then this is Bourbon Street as well, which is where all the nightlife is. Again, lots of live music there as well. And then what we do have as well is we have 2 optional excursions you can do, or you can spend more time in New Orleans. But if you do the excursion, you can go to the really beautiful Oak Valley Plantation, which is pictured here. And this is me when I went there. And also that same day, we do a swamp tour as well in the Louisiana Bayou. And this is, the little boats that you go around and you'll see like all the resident wildlife. And there are many, many alligators you're likely to see in the area. And you can also do an evening steamboat cruise, on the Mississippi River. It's like a dinner and jazz cruise. And obviously those steamboats on the Mississippi are iconic. So yeah, kind of like a must-do experience, really.
You're seeing some great shots of Linda here, experiencing wonderful tours. And this is Linda again.
Well, maybe not. But yeah, then we head into Texas and we'll go to the NASA Johnson Space Center. It's a really fascinating museum to wander around all the exhibits. It's where they do astronaut training in the US. But the best bit is this. This is the historic mission control. So this is where they would have done all like the mission control for all the Apollo missions. And you sit in this area with where you can kind of watch it. And it's where the friends and family of astronauts sit. And they do like this audio-visual recreation of the moon landing. So you can see what would have been on the screens at the time. And you can hear, Neil Armstrong speaking. And yeah, that's the best bit by far. It's really interesting.
And it carries on. The Alamo, day 10 to 11. Yeah,
now we go to San Antonio where we spend 2 nights. We'll go to the Alamo, obviously, really famous in history when, they were trying to hold off the Mexicans, but ultimately didn't manage to do that. But we'll learn about all of that, all of that battle and all of that kind of thing. And then we have a free day. So my favorite thing in San Antonio is the River Walk. It stretches for 24 kilometers and it's got all these bars and restaurants. It's a really lovely place to wander around. And lots of our group chose to do a boat cruise as well. So you can see a lot more of it, obviously, that way and learn about the history of the Riverwalk.
Day 12, Dallas.
Yes, Dallas. I also found this really interesting. So this is obviously famous for being associated with John F. Kennedy's assassination. And the tall building you can see is the book depository. So that's where he was allegedly shot from, the 6th floor. And the 6th floor has now been made into a museum. So you learn all about his history in that day and the conspiracy theories. This you can see is kind of like where the shots were fired and where they hit the cars. I learned so much. I found it really, really interesting.
And then Fort Worth.
Yeah, this is our final destination, Fort Worth, for its historic stockyards, which feel a bit like the Wild Wild West and stepping back in time. And you have this twice daily Longhorn cattle drive, which is really interesting. And what I thought was really fun as well is they pipe country music into the streets. So you really do feel like you're kind of in that kind of olden days. It's a really great end to the tour. And this is the summary, of everything I talked through. So we've got Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans, and then we've got NASA, San Antonio, Dallas, and Fort Worth. So it's a lot to cover in 2 weeks, but yeah, amazing tour.
And Daryl, go through the deal again, please, my
Yeah,
friend.
so Pete, there's a couple of things. Before I go through the deal, I just want to recap some of the things Linda said there, because obviously I did the start of what Linda did recently on my own kind of tour that I went on. And there's a couple of things. I love the fact that Jack Daniels started in when he was 16. I love the fact of that. That's just straight away. That's one of those things you look back and you think, Christ Almighty, what was I doing at 16? He was starting a whiskey company, so that's pretty impressive. And then going on to Nashville. For anybody who hasn't been to Nashville before, I went to Nashville on my tour recently, and I absolutely adore Nashville. So much so I've booked to go back for a long weekend for my wife's 40th. But yeah, Nashville is just absolutely fascinating. There's a couple of things to kind of note in Nashville. The Country Music Hall of Fame is an absolutely, for any music lover, is fascinating, and it's probably the biggest music museum I've ever been into. And when you go in there, it kind of gives you the history of country, and then as you kind of go along the floors, you get to kind of modern day country, which is what I'm really into now. And yeah, and then after that you can go back onto Broadway, because Broadway's right next to it, and you literally can hit these bars. And I'm not joking, Peter, and Linda will probably vouch for me on this one, is you will go into these bars and you will see singers that if they were in the UK, these guys would be on TV, they would be making a small fortune.
Wow.
The musicians are absolutely amazing. The voices of these singers are unbelievable. And that's in every single bar. That's not in one bar. You'll go into every single bar and there will be a professional singer, and they'll literally blow your mind how good they are. So, yeah, really recommend Nashville. And I'd probably say Nashville now, as all the cities I've been to in America, is the cleanest as well. Really, I found it really, really clean. I was very impressed with Nashville. Going on to Graceland, so Linda was mentioning kind of her experience there, and going on to the aeroplane, Lisa Marie, and seeing Graceland. But Graceland is absolutely fascinating. Now, everybody knows Elvis. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm a big Elvis fan, but I went into that house, I looked around, and I came back and I downloaded every single Elvis song onto my Spotify. It's an amazing experience. You can see how popular he was and what he did. But just going into that house itself, he literally, you can see why he was called the king. Because the house is as good as a palace. It really is. It's a fascinating experience. And the good thing about Elvis, when you learn the history of him, he just loved his family. He was a real family man. And yeah, I was blown away by that particular part. Also on the same day, the Civil Rights Museum, yet again, what an experience that is. And yeah, really kind of hits home, because in the UK, we obviously there's history lessons that we've learned, but when you see it firsthand how divided America was during the 60s, yeah, it's really a real great life lesson, and I came away from that, like I say, learning a lot. And then just finally, I haven't been to Dallas, but everybody who goes to Texas, they always say Texas has always felt the aftermath of the shooting of John F. Kennedy, and they all say that anybody I've ever met who's done that museum that Linda was going on, they all say it's absolutely fascinating, because that literally changed the heart of America and is played a part ever since. And yeah, that's one thing I'm really excited to do in the near future.
Thanks, Dale. That's absolutely fantastic. You've got great information, folks. This is an incredible tour, and that is an incredible deal. It's a huge discount, folks. It really is, Dale.
Yeah, so yet again, you've got 2 dates in 2027, so plenty of time to plan. 31st of March 2027, great time to go as well. The cost was 6,599. We've got it available at 5,799. Also, the 29th of September 2027, it's at 5,799. All we need is a deposit of £500. You'll have 3 and 4 star accommodation. Now in America, some of you may look at it and go 3-star accommodation. The good thing about America, and especially Riviera, the accommodation's always at high standard. Their 3 stars are as good as our 4 stars in the UK for sure. Included return flights and transfers, which obviously is huge. You're going to get met by an expert before kind of as soon as you arrive in America. So yet again, the tour managers are the ones who make these tours. So yeah, it's a fabulous trip. It is a bucket list. I think everybody in the UK has got kind of wants to visit America, wants to see the kind of the music side of it, because it plays a big part in our culture. There's no ifs or buts about it. And I love you putting that picture up of me by our phone number, Peter. I really do. So yeah, I love that photo of myself. But yeah, no, if you want to give us a call now, the lines are open. Our team are ready to take your call. 02920 619 961. That number again, 02920 619 961. And the great thing is, Peter and Linda, as we all know, it's a local rate Cardiff number.
Yeah, fantastic. Bucket list tour, absolutely bucket list tour, without a doubt. I can see why you chose to do that, Linda. I really can. I'm so jealous of both of you, to be honest with you. So folks, what a wonderful opportunity. You know the number, give the team a call. They're ready for you now. Linda, as always, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time here and painting a picture as you do. Daryl, again, thank you so much. Again, painting a picture, and what a wonderful tour. And congratulations again to all the team at PFC, at the Solar Holiday Forum, for those wonderful honors that we won literally just a couple of days ago. I want to say thank you for CJ behind the scenes, who does all the hard work putting this whole thing together and is there just in case I get kicked out of the show, which I know a lot of people are really hoping will happen, but it hasn't happened for a while yet. But more importantly, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video, and please make sure you subscribe to us. And last thing, a massive thank you to all our members. You are the reason why we're doing this, and I can't wait to hear all the stories of this wonderful tour. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon with another wonderful holiday.
Thank you.